What's up? It's Theo from Frequency Influence and Embodied Wealth Codes. And so what you're about to see in this preview is a training that we do in Embodied Wealth Codes. We have two tiers of Embodied Wealth Codes. The first tier is the one where people are going from beginner coach to their first 10K months. And then the other elite tier, which is VIP hybrid, involves coaches going from six figures to multiple 6 and 7 figures per year. Now, what you'll see in this training is maybe in the past, actually, you've seen me at live events carrying a crowd and bringing the gravitas and the magnetism and just really leading people in a powerful way, one to many. And so what you may not realize actually is how I'm able to bring people into this collaborative, powerful frame where I am able to guide the conversation in a way that is actually both potent in its charisma and leadership and also present in groundedness. And there's a very powerful counterweight that occurs in public situations. Now, what you'll see is that there's these courageous clients who actually had the courage, the balls, and the guts to actually get out of their comfort zone and show up for themselves to change their life. They are really similar to, if you've ever been to a baseball game and you see someone come out of the audience and they'll bring them out and the person will throw the ball to the pitcher, and you'll see such a massive gap between the pro pitcher and the actual just normal person who's out there on the field. In the same way, you may see a basketball game where someone throws and shoots a basket, and you'll see the massive distinction between someone who is playing at a world-class level compared to someone who doesn't have that knowledge and experience as well. And so what you'll see with me is that when you understand how to frame things and you understand exactly what to do, this is the difference that is very clear between a new coach and an intermediate coach compared to a world-class elite coach who doesn't even have to invest as much energy to get the same outcome compared to someone who would have to invest a lot of energy to be able to get a very similar outcome compared to someone who's elite. Now, what you'll also see is that I'm bringing to the conscious, different subconscious cognitive biases and social nuances, and I'm able to tweak people live in a very quick way, certain blind spots that may have been impacting them negatively in public situations, fear of other people's opinions, in ways that they didn't really know how to get to the root cause. So I hope that you enjoy this preview, and we're gonna be actually opening the doors. There's a wait list for Embodied Wealth Codes. There will be a link for you to apply to get a free breakthrough call, and this is not something where you're gonna even have anything to buy on the call. It's actually a 10-minute scaling session that we've been giving away because we've been hiring a lot of people, supporting individuals, coaches, experts, and conscious spiritual healers on how to really understand that there's a difference between powerful coaching and powerful communication. And so if you are serious and it's important to you to really accelerate in this new collective rising and awakening that's going on in the world, and you wanna be prepared for 2023 with an innovative, proven, data-driven system with sales, lead gen, business model, and a leveraged, structured client delivery system, stay tuned and enjoy this training. And by the way, when you move into these powerful experiences, what you're gonna actually start to realize is that there are ways that we tend to be very comfortable in homeostasis. And so there's subconscious reasons, but there's also powerful energetic principles that apply to all people at all places at all times, so that you can actually create environments for people to buy instead of you needing to convince people on long draining sales calls or you needing to build a convoluted complex funnel where we live in this massive age of information overload, and you see a lot of spectators and people who are just watching things go by and collecting information, but very little behavioral change. And that's exactly a huge reason why I'm so passionate about women's empowerment, coaches, really creating more diversity and equality in the world and allowing those talented coaches to really upgrade their energetics, upgrade themselves spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, and really align with their superpowers. So talk to you soon. Let's crack into it. Peace, power, and love. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because when you're in this flow and you're in this alignment with love, you can take action with so much less resistance. And so what ends up happening is that not only does your voice unlock, your energy expands, you're not as attached to the outcome, but you're just being you. And you essentially get so much more done in less time because you shut off the thinking mind. And so this exercise is designed to get you out of your head and out here. And if you're driving, you can just say out here with your hands. Out
here. Got it.
Out here. Okay, when you're in your head, you're all stifled. You're all in your head. And so I'm going to show you not only how to get out of your head, but how to get in other people's head. Get it? Remember, okay, I'm going to really double down and smash on these core principles because I want to show you why you don't want, and one day if you're watching this video months from now, it'll finally click in your head that some people get very addicted to frame control because they feel that like if they're not in control of the frame, then they freak out. And so what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that the ultimate truth is that we're all one, and it's all conditional love, unconditional love, and acceptance of what is. And everything is perfect, right? Spiritually perfect. And so what we're doing is we're showing you how to use your mind basically to co-create win-wins from a collaborative frame, and how to lead the energy of the interaction, and how to be in control of the frame basically. And you don't have to, and I want to show you how you can be in control of the frame without being loud and outspoken. I'm just showing you the spectrum of frame control. And I've gotten it to this point where I didn't have to say anything, and people still are in my frame because in my mind, I'm saying, I'm telling you what to think. I'm telling you what to feel. You're going to laugh. Why are you laughing? Why are you giggling over there? And it's all in the eyes. It's in the presence. It's in the assumption, right, Kines? It's in the assumption. And so I want to also show you this, not only because so that you can be a confident leader, but also so that you don't let society control your frame. You get that? This is also helping you to be discerning, helping you to think critically, and helping you to not buy into groupthink. And so I want to let you know that groupthink isn't all bad, just like how fear isn't all bad. Fear is designed to protect you, just like groupthink is designed to save us time. So if I were to start running off a cliff and everyone's like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Theo. I'll be like, oh shit. I look around like, oh wait, maybe this is like not a good idea, right? So you don't have to touch the stove to know that it's hot. So that's groupthink. That's the value of how society has created a system for groupthink, but it's actually was never designed for your best interest in mind. But at the same time, there's always going to be like a value. There's always going to be a half truth to like what people are always in rebellion to, if that makes sense, right? Because essentially without judgment, there's no law, and without no law, there's just pure chaos, and people would just be, killing each other. And that's not cool because that's just not safe, right? So confident people, they always know how to self-regulate, and they're always able to reclaim that they are safe in the world. And so one way that you'll know about human behavior is that you got to understand that if you can predict human behavior, that prevents you from always getting the short end of the stick in every relationship in your life. In addition to that, you'll also know how to predict your own behavior. That's why it is a double-edged sword. So when we can't predict our own behavior, we generally feel out of control because we're not consciously creating our own egoic self-image, essentially, right? Our ego is to be drived towards evolution. Get it? Our ego is to be created and orchestrated and driven by our witness consciousness to drive towards becoming that version of ourselves through thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. And so essentially what we want to do is we want to leverage our business on social media, not just our marketing and sales, but also our coaching too, and our relationships, to practice the art and science of being in congruence. And so what you'll find is that people who can be but actually the more wacky and crazy they are, if the frame is there and they have that balance of presence and groundedness and that kind of just calmness, that they can stretch further into ridiculousness, and people will actually socially ping to gain some kind of like reference for what reality is. So I'm trying to show you that you can actually create reality a lot more powerfully. And that's what influence is. You don't need to have any following to have influence with the people that come in contact with you. And so when I show you how to be the sun that is always shining, and you're always asking yourself, like, Kanice, how can I help Kanice win? How can we help Kirsten win? How can we help Kurt and Andrea and everyone else watching this on the replay win? Well, that just shows that I don't need anything from any of you. And so I become like the sun, don't I? I begin to have this giving energy, and there's nothing more attractive when I'm giving and I don't need anything back from you. And there's an energy to that, right? There's an overflow to that. That's your natural essence, right? That's like the tree that just it basically sprouts the fruit, and it's not worried about losing the fruit because it's a tree. You can't make a tree be a dolphin, right? Like, that's what's so special about being human, is that we can actually change the channel and we can change who we are. You can't make a wolf be a cat. You can try to make it be, but it's not going to be possible. Okay, because they don't have a higher self-awareness. So anyways, let's get into the exercise component. And these are, let's just say, fun, gamified habits that help you to get out of your head and into the flow of free association. Free association is basically a game that you can play over on top of this kind of structure that I'm giving you. And I'll riff on this, like when I do talks, I'll just be infinitely in flow, and like Instagram lives, I'll be in the flow and free associative and creatively expressive. But I'm actually, the reason why I'm doing that and practicing that public speaking is because I'm really refining how good I am at being a concise speaker and a concise communicator. So I'm really actually, what I'm doing is I'm taking the feedback that I'm gaining from watching it back, like Tom Brady would watch his game replay back to see his blind spots. I'm starting to see how good I'm at holding the frame and holding congruence and being self-amusing and actually, asking people questions and making sure that my inflections are on point. And so I'm able to practice the framework of marketing, the framework of copywriting, the framework of sales, because it's all the same thing. It's all just selling people into the next thing and to the next thing, so that people pay attention and they keep paying attention. And attention is what everyone is competing for. They're competing for your eyeballs' attention. Okay. And ironically, the eyeballs are the only organ in our body that's directly connected to the brain. So we don't see reality. We see the light hit off the retina cone and we interpret reality. And this is what I'm trying to show you, how to upgrade your mindset so that you can become aware of more tool sets. And when you become more aware of tool sets, you'll use the tool sets. And when you use the tool sets, your skill set goes up. And when your skill set goes up, you become more powerful, because power is the ability to affect outcomes. But that can only start when we get clear on what we want and why we want it. So from the component of really being so good at conveying the message to become a better leader in business, and becoming a better leader in as a wife, as a husband, as a mother or a father, because if you're in the business of being a father, being a husband, being a wife, being a coach, you're a coach. Why? Is because you're in the business of making people make moves and changing behavior so that it's going to serve them more powerfully. One of my big points of my mission in life is helping to give you tools to scramble. And when I say scramble you, I just mean to scramble the social conditioning. And I'm going to show you why this works. You understand the underlying principles. It's going to inspire you to actually do it and not just talk about it, but you're going to actually practice it to change your life. Okay. And so when I say scramble your conditioning, that's why whenever people come in here, they're kind of like overwhelmed with the information, but they're not understanding the underlying reason why I'm doing it. It's because they've been so stuck in societal programming that it kind of messes with the reality. Okay, it's hard to believe that your whole past is a lie. Not that it isn't important or it isn't meaningful in a positive way, but it's just a story, though. You see what I'm saying? The ultimate thing that drives our feelings is the story we have, and that feeling drives our behavior. That's what I mean by understanding that. Like if you meet somebody and they're looking around all the time and their body's closed and you just sense that they're tense, I can see that person has a very low status self-image. You see that? And if I can listen to their voice, I can hear there's a tenseness to it. Doesn't mean it's not like high pitched, but I could just tense there's a straining. I just want to listen for the warmth, relaxation of the vocal tone. Does that make sense? Think of like a warm mother's voice, right? It's so soothing, isn't it? But it's not like, right? It's just relaxed, right? Doesn't mean you can't use that as a tool to be like, ew, right? But I'm just saying, like, just in general, you're having your awareness on your throat as you talk, so you can just kind of notice when you tense in certain situations, because your brain is putting you on a status hierarchy of looks and money. And so you want to understand when your brain is getting kind of activated so that you can notice the trigger and you can shift the trigger into something that's going to be very useful for you. Instead of getting judgmental, you'll get curious. You'll say, oh, interesting. Like, can I just stop? Can I pause? Can I breathe into the sensation? Can I soften my body? Can I steady my gaze and just relax my gaze into the alpha? And can I relax? Okay. So I'm trying to show you how I'm wiring my brain so that you can lock into focusing and powerful leadership and potency. Okay. Then you'll know how to think laterally and you'll know how to think linearly. Okay, lateral, funny, relaxing, allows you to lock in, concentrate, and speak directly. It's the lateral letting go. So letting go, the no thought, letting go, that allows you to, boom. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? My name's Kanice. How are you? Hey, what's up? I'm Kirsten. How are you? Hi, instead of like, hi, I'm how are you? How are you? No, how are you? You see that? It's an assumptive attitude, right? It's a high status thing. And it's a very subtle nuance, but anyone can access that. Okay, it's just a belief. If you choose to believe it, that just becomes true. So it's you have to choose it. I can't make you do this. And so the smartest people who I've ever coached, most successful people who I've ever coached, they've gotten the venture capital. They are multi-millionaires. But why is it that their self-image is all tied up in their money, in their self-image? Well, it's because they don't have a transcendent purpose. They don't have a letting go personality, and they're just no fun to be around with. And they really only think about making money. And so they've told me I could be running a 9-figure business in something that's like more venture capitalism. And I'm not knocking the fact that it's super hard to get venture capital. I'm not knocking like their achievement, but I'm just saying that there is a spiritual overarching like value of being able to build a lifestyle that is more holistic, and you can enjoy the view. You can enjoy the feeling of your car as you're driving your car. You can feel the sunlight hitting your face. And you're like, oh, God, like this is priceless. And then there's some people who are very wealthy who take that for granted, right? They can't take it in. They can't take in the sunset. They can't take it in because they think it's a waste of time. But I'm just trying to show you a little bit more around what having even like what money can give to you. It can give you those opportunities to have better experiences as you travel the world and you go experience God's creation. You can go enjoy different places and spaces with the people who you love. So anyways, let's get back to the actual exercises, because I want to show you how to really unlock this. And this, as you continue to do it, you're going to feel more like yourself, actually. You're just going to feel more like you can just be. And it's the same you that's going to be wealthy. It's just, you're just being yourself. Okay. So the first thing that I always have people do, first, I'm going to show you the capacity of like stretching your capacity to express. And that's kind of like the scrambling. And the reason why this is scrambling your social conditioning is because social conditioning teaches us that we have to marry and match the content, the meaning of the content, with the emotion. Societal conditioning teaches us you have to match the content, meaning the content, the words, with the emotion. Get that? So we're going to do exercises that break that psychology so that you can actually really expand your energy and you can really enjoy the flow of expression and not overthink things. Okay? Who wants to learn how to do that? I was like, what do I say again? What do I say? Usually what happens is when we're high vibe and we just get a message, we just reply authentically, like in the moment. It's the best thing. They reply. Why? Because we respect their, we just doing our due, right? We're respecting their right to not engage, get back to us. They'll get back to us. So they get back to us. They say they ghost you. No, they just didn't feel like messaging you back. Right? That's it. That's the truth. People just get so like annoyed at that, but it's like, they're not entitled to get back to you in X amount of time, right? At least in the context of life. We're giving you frameworks to like say things that are effective, but generally speaking, the way that you do it is so much more important. That's why I want to get you connected to like how it feels to just focus on enjoying the execution of like the voice and the expression and not being like so overthinking of like, what do I say, right? Because usually when you overthink what to say, it actually always just doesn't work because you overthought it. And then you end up writing like 15 paragraphs and they're like, thanks a lot. Like now I have to read 15 paragraphs. And I would be pissed at my friend if they sent me 15 paragraphs in text, So a stranger's not going to think any differently. Okay. So, from there, when we do these exercises, just understand that I'm also going to show you the exercise that's going to connect you to the source energy, like meaning like the presence grounded energy, because it's actually the grounded energy that allows the pop to pop. And what it does is it helps you to stay regulated and helps you to feel safe in the pop, right? You see, there's like a potency to what I'm doing, but it's only because I'm only just kind of doing my own frame. Like I'm just doing whatever feels right in the moment, depending on my mood. And so if you watch my content, there's content where I'm in a chill mood and I'm just like in a grounded, authentic, present mood. But there's also an authenticity to my expression when I'm all crazy, right? So because that's what was authentic to me in the moment. But this will maintain your energy. So you don't say like, oh, Coach Theo is teaching me to be like someone I'm not. No. I'm just showing you that like what you may think is like cocky and arrogant is just confident. What you think is like offensive is just you being yourself. In a way, for those really timid people, that's the truth. Now, for someone who's like overly obnoxious and they're dropping F-bombs like every other sentence, well, maybe, just maybe, I tell them to chill the fuck out. And then they're just confident. You see that? So it just depends on what you know is your leadership style, but you know already if you need to flex into Trump style leadership versus Obama, and don't get tied up in the people, just focus on the energy. Okay, feminine versus masculine, right? Like you kind of know what that is, but you can stretch both muscles. They're just muscles that you haven't cultivated yet. And it never ends. That's the secret. It never ends. You got to understand that this never ends. This is always going to be, you're always going to be evolving as a person. So you just do it whatever feels right for this phase of your life. Here's the exercise. So when you move out into the world, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to say, let's actually do an exercise. Okay, so we need you to be on camera if you can, because it really only works if you're feeling what it feels like to experience social pressure. Remember that circle I drew on the board the other day? And I'm like, if we were a tribe and we were all in a circle, most people would just default to like trying to get to the middle of the circle because that's where it's the safest. Like if you just fit in with groupthink, then you don't have to risk death. So people do that socially, though. They do that socially. You see that? They don't speak their truth. And then they just kind of cower in like quiet desperation. You know what I mean? And they say, no one understands me. It's not someone's obligation to understand you. You should never expect people to understand you. You should be a mystery to yourself. I'm just saying that's how I see things. I don't expect you to take that on. So everything that I'm telling you has a truth that's opposite. You got to understand that. You see what I'm saying? Like everything that I'm arguing for will always be a half truth. You get that? I'm not God here, guys. I'm just trying to show you the context that I've found to be very useful in every relationship of my life and to how to maintain my fucking sanity and my soul. So it'd be effective too, right? So we're going to actually all focus on Kurt. Kurt. Okay. And we're going to point at Kurt. Just say, hey, you, Kurt. Hey, you, Kurt. Hey, you, Kurt. Everybody unmute. You don't have, you can, unless it's super loud in your environment. Hey, you, Kurt. Hey, you.
Hey,
you.
Hey, you, Kurt.
Point at the camera.
Hey, you, Kurt.
Hey, you, Kurt. Hey, you.
Hey, you, Kurt.
Okay.
Kurt. Hey, you, Kurt. Hey, you.
Okay,
hey,
now,
you, Kurt.
Right, like it's an accusational type of thing. Okay, so tell us what you felt. And I want you to understand that when we do these in live trainings, like pretend like we're all like in the same room. Like don't think you're like, oh, I'm watching this on a Zoom call. No. Just pretend, pre-intend that we're in a circle. Like we're in this spiritual circle in your life. Okay, because you'll get the most out of it. And what I've always told people when they feel they feel humiliated because they're being self-absorbed or whatever, they're kind of singled out. They don't realize that them being an example, I guess you could say, is so valuable to everyone else because they don't realize that. Because then the other people can observe how maybe they're doing that too in their life. And so I just want you to know that whatever shows up today is perfect. It's what your soul wanted to take from this, and what your soul didn't, you don't take from it. But just understand that like when you actually volunteer to be someone who's like the guinea pig, you've got to see that as you're giving value. Does that make sense? Okay, so what did you feel?
It felt like a lot of playful energy. It felt like a lot of playful energy was like being thrown into my lap, like asking me what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Playful energy was being brought to you, right?
Yeah, it was like, hey Kurt, like how are you gonna respond? And it was like this, I felt like
that's important for us to acknowledge that because we all kind of know each other, there's that perception of it. But if you were in a world of strangers who don't know you, that would feel like I'm being fully seen and exposed. Okay. So you got to understand that when you're exposed, it just means you're being fully seen. You get it? That's why they say when you're vulnerable, you're not vulnerable because you're vulnerable. You're not vulnerable at that point. You know what I mean? Like no one can hurt you because you're the one choosing to be vulnerable. You're the one to be opening up about your vulnerability. So then no one can actually poke at that insecurity because you're sharing it. You get that? That's why vulnerability is power. Most people don't understand that. So, but I just wanted you to feel what that feels like. Now, everyone just quietly stare at Andrea. Look in the camera, everybody. Don't look at Andrea on the screen. Look at the camera. Okay, now go like this. Okay, what does that feel like, Andrea?
Like, what did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong, right? So remember what we say, it's being at the cause, not the effect. That's why I said some people can get addicted to frame control. So they feel like if they're not controlling the frame, then they're like, they go crazy, right? So I'm just saying it doesn't mean don't let life in and don't take feedback. You know, people take this way too far. They're like, oh, no, I don't need to hire a coach and be open-minded. Fuck everyone's opinion. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. In fact, those people are usually end up being very sociopathic, right? So like, I'm just saying, like, just notice how that just generally makes you feel. It's called social pressure. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to feel what it feels like to be at the effect. And then I want you to feel like what it feels like to be at the cause. Okay. So now you're going to go to each person and you're going to say their name and you're going to point at the screen and you're going to just say, hey, Kanice. Hey, Kurt. Hey, Baltazar.
Hey, Theo. Hey, Kanice. Hey, Kurt. Hey, Baltazar.
Okay, now I want you to push through the wall. Okay, don't push at the wall. Just push through the wall, right, with your voice. Hey, just go. Hey. Okay.
Hey.
So what's happening is you're stifled, right? So what you want to do is take a deep 2 breaths in through the nose. And and then breathe in. Hold it like this. Hold it. Keep holding it. Stretch it out. Oh, come on. You can hold it. You can hold it for longer than that. Open. And go. Okay. How you do the breath hold. It's important for you to consciously bring your awareness into your body. You get that? While you're holding it up here, bring the awareness down to the heart. You'll feel your sensation drop into the body. You feel that? And then you go, I highly recommend that everybody, you should be very, like, let's just say generous with this breathing exercise to train yourself to be able to handle what's called social pressure or social anxiety or just anxiety in general. Because the more capacity you can hold in stress, the more money you'll make. You get that? It's just the way it goes. Okay. People who are always reacting to what is never make money because they're just reacting to what is. And then they're trying to compensate with, what do I say? What's the strategy? That's fucking meaningless if you're not in the state of being that's required. You see that? So I'm just saying, like, when you use that as a way to build that muscle of like capacity, right? In meditation of capacity, you expand and you can be more in your body and you feel safe in your body. That's when the trauma stops running the body, running the mind, actually, right? And you get into the body. So if you visualize like a mouth on your heart, and when you talk to people, can you speak from that location? Like physical location has like an intelligence, right? So when you speak to people from the heart, it comes from a different frequency. It comes from the frequency of the heart, not the head, of control, right? It comes from the heart. Okay, is making sense? Okay. But this is why most people, they're always in taking mode of what can I get? Me. And then they get stuck in the small me, don't they? They don't connect to the heart, which is the portal to the quantum, which is you as the all that is. So now I want you to extend the hey and just notice where your attention goes. Hey, and punch through the wall. Hey, just do this. Hey,
Heyo.
hey.
Heyo.
That's the stretch. And then you go, you just hum, right? Hum. And notice where the attention goes. Bring your attention to where your attention just naturally goes when you do those two exercises. Hey, Because what your eyes are going to do, I can already tell when someone's in their head because their eyes go, hey, right? Because their eyes are checking, right, for danger, threats, right? You feel threatened. You don't feel safe. Hey, because your mind's like, go into the middle center, go in the circle, go in the middle circle. Hey, if you just maintain eye contact, steady gaze. Hey,
Hey,
say, I'm a 10.
I'm a 10.
Now soften your body into focusing on your positive, beautiful qualities. I'm a 10.
I'm a 10.
Your body language, right? Your eye contact, your vocal projection, the cadence, the physiology, right? The posture. I'm a 10.
I'm a 10.
Okay, so then that creates self-fulfilling prophecies. You get reference experiences for how people perceive you, and that reinforces your self-image, your beliefs about reality. So I'm a 10.
I'm a 10.
And when you feel triggered or uncomfortable, just breathe into the sensation because that will heal the program of shame. If you feel it, you heal it. But if you don't feel it, you'll compensate with action. You'll compensate with toxic spiritual positivity, right? Because you're spiritually bypassing. So, just do that. I'm a 10.
I'm a 10.
I'm a 10. Huh?
I'm a 10.
See, so now you understand that now there's intelligence flowing more through your body, right? There's a body intelligence, meaning the energy, the emotion, and then there's a mental, there's the throat, right? So I'm a 10.
I'm a 10.
Good, right? And just consciously release any tension in the body because the body is holding on to trauma. It's holding on to, loops of story, right? So I'm a 10.
I'm a 10.
Okay, now say I'm
I'm
the group.
I'm the group.
I'm the voice of 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 the group.
Okay, this is a collaborative frame now, right? So because it's just like I'm the 10, and it's like I'm better than you. I'm better than you. But if I'm the 10, I'm the group. Right? We're all one. I'm the group.
I'm the group.
Now when I say hey, oh, hey, when you, or maybe I'll just be quiet, and I'm like, I'm in your head. I'm in your head. I'm in your head, right? So when you feel someone coming at you, either verbally, physically, or whatever, maybe their presence is very like intimidating, right? Like imagine if Tony Robbins walked up on your ass. Understand that it's about saying this out loud. Your energy is my energy. Your energy is my energy.
Your energy is my energy.
Say, hey, you should be thinking his energy is my energy. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because this is what makes people contract. Whoa, that person's so outspoken and authentic. They don't give a fuck, right? When I say that, you should say, oh, Theo's energy is my energy. You get that? It's very easy for me to act high status right now because you are all my clients. But I'm just saying that that's not relevant. That's not the point. What matters is that you're getting the principles of, hey, I'm the group, I'm a 10, I'm the group, I'm the voice of the group. Your energy is my energy. So when you see me being like, hey, right, like powerful, confident, clear, authentic, practice seeing that like that energy is also my energy. Okay. And that this is like the ultimate healing for empaths because when you like are too loud, you're like, oh shit, I don't know my status here. And when you're low status, you get in your head, you get stifled, you get filtered, you filter everything you say. But when you're high status in a group, you are funny. Everybody wants your attention. You're the bomb. Everybody loves you, and you're controlling the frame because it's whatever you think is funny is funny. Whatever you think is real and certain is the truth, right? Becomes the truth. So I'm the group, and Theo's energy is my energy. My energy. Do that. My energy.
My energy.
Yeah. So when you do that, I think, oh, that's my energy too, right? You starting to get started to track. Like, how did that feel? Give everybody like the feedback.
I mean, a little uncomfortable to be doing this in front of everybody, but good. Like I felt like that was just allowing myself to even do this exercise is a big deal. And yeah, I could feel the different energy states when I was like feeling contracted versus when I felt like it flowed through.
Good. Good. And what did you guys notice about Andrea?
I saw like in the beginning, I think as you were talking, it was what he was talking like almost like scanning, but then in the end you're just like, well, this is the exercise, so I'm doing it. But you can feel it like a difference in how like it shifts.
Yeah. Like when I say I'm the prize, I'm
Mhm.
the prize. I'm the buyer in the buyer seller dynamic. Say that out loud. I'm the buyer,
I'm the buyer,
qualifier,
qualifier,
buyer, seller dynamic.
buyer, seller.
How you see how deeply you're starting to lean in a little bit. You notice yourself being pulled towards me, right? So I can still guide the frame and hold the frame by creating a vacuum. So I can speak very softly because I'm connected to the, remember, right, to the presence. So I'm controlling the frame. And it's almost like I've taken people through this whole journey on like a live talk, and they go through this sober plant medicine journey, really scrambling your mind. And I'm showing you how your mind works. Because when you're all funny, it allows your brain to like unlock, right? So it's using the mind to transcend the mind. And the most charismatic people are able to just be in the flow. And everyone's like, oh my fucking God, this guy is infinitely creative. Well, that's what you have access to when you use the voice to shut off the thinking mind. You shut off the thinking mind when you take massive action. And that's when you stop having decision fatigue and perfectionism, and you just allow it to come through. You see that? It's like a feeling that you get. You're receiving the vibration of the energy in your voice and your body, and you're feeling it. You're like, oh yeah, just do that. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Right? Oh, yes. Wow. Wow. Wouldn't that be nice? This new possibility. What is this experience that I'd like to experience? Oh my God, what is this, right? So I'm not being that loud, right? But I'm still controlling your framing because I'm in your head. I'm telling you what to think. I'm telling you to like nod in affirmation to placate to me. Like I'm doing that by not even saying anything, right? So it's the energy, it's the frequency, it's the intention of like, remember we said don't put one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake at the same time. You've gotta want people to stop. You've got to want people to receive you positively, right? And that's why the alpha state allows you to see that image of someone receiving you positively. And that's when you genuinely want them to, because a lot of you guys secretly don't want people to pay you. You secretly don't want people to receive you positively, right? But it's just kind of like an unconscious blind spot that I'm trying to bring up to the conscious awareness. You see that? But then these exercises help you to let go, don't they? Hey, what's going, like you're talking to your best friend, right? Like that's how you should feel, because that's yourself. That's your true self, part of you that's already validated. So I'm trying to show you that in the societal matrix, your value is based on your looks, your money, and whether or not you have social status, meaning like you have validation from the group, right? And so that's why people have situational confidence. But if I put them in a room where nobody knows them, they don't have the confidence because they lack the core confidence, right? There's a distinction here. So if you can come into a room and walk, dance circles, you're a great communicator. Someone who's very good looking or someone who's very rich will need to lean on over self-qualifying. They're going to look very try hard, and they're just going to come across ultimately over time as very beta and basically like just needy or shallow and just provy, right? Convincing, which comes from lack. So when you go into there, you'll dance circles around that person because you're a great communicator, right? A great listener and a great speaker. and it won't matter what you look like. Isn't that cool? That you're not limited to the things that you can't control, around your looks. But don't take this out of context and think like, oh, Theo's saying I shouldn't make money, or Theo's thinking I shouldn't work on my beauty or looks. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't base your self-esteem on that. You see the difference? You'll end up making more aligned money when you don't lean on that, because then you're stuck in the have or the have not paradigm. Be that person now. Okay. And that enables you to do that. So you see how we're just smashing all these little nuances, and we're just getting this razor sharp in your mind so that you know how to measure your progress. It should feel so natural to be the sun. I don't need shit from people. I actually want to make sure that you're having a great time. Like, I'm this host of the party. Like, I want to make sure you're welcome in my reality, my world, right? Where everybody gets to win. Everybody gets to have their moment to shine. Right? I want to make sure Andrea shines here. I want to make sure Kenise is fucking loving cutting that watermelon. She's loving it. And right. And then we're having Kurt just chilling in his Casa de Lux over there. And Yoshi's DJing for all of us. Isn't that cool? Okay. So so let's go with Kurt, because he looks like he's ready to get, shaken awake. Yeah, we're trying to separate the content from the energy. That's all we're doing here. So we're focused on how you convey the message, which is what gets the sales, what gets people to buy into your ideas. It gets what people to convert.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I could say,
like in the DMs and on the calls, in content, the energy, how we communicate.
Anything having to do with your voice. Like, whenever you open your mouth, you should be able to open it to the point where it's like a gift. Like, every consonant, this is going to sound so like asshole-ish, but like every consonant that you contribute to their life, every second that you give of your attention to someone, it's as if you're giving them $1 million. Like, you're offering them $1 million by giving them even your eyeballs. And when you take it away, it's like, you don't have my attention. Now you have so I'm always willing to walk away. And I know this is going to sound like, why are you teaching this to us? Well, it's because it's just high level people who are just naturally high status. They really, really have a sense of urgency in their life, just because they really respect their time. And they know that time is not money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. Okay. So they're always asking themselves, what's the opportunity cost of spending time with this person? And I know that sounds also asshole-ish, but like, if you just adopt an increment of this, your life will change in a massive way. And you already kind of feel there's a truth to that. Like, if you start practicing saying, hey, my attention is $1 million check, and if you don't want the check, that's your loss. If you don't want to deeply engage with me, I fully respect your right to not. But it's kind of like an attitude, like that person just doesn't get it. They just don't get it. I don't take it personally, in other words.
Okay.
So the content and the vocal tonality, telling a story with the vocal dynamic. What's the up? Leave people on a cliff. It's the down. We call seeking rapport, with an upward inflection out of curiosity, but then you're neutral. Like, I'm just neutral right now. I'm just neutral, like in this meditative neutrality. Right? There's a lot of spiritual teachers will teach you neutrality. And then high status move is like the breaking rapport. When you're breaking rapport, it's like a boundary. It's like, I have too much business coming in. I have too many friends. I have too much validation. I have too many people wanting my time and attention. So that's that.
Is that downward inflection?
Yes, because that's a breaking rapport. Seeking rapport, like, my name is Theo. Can you like me, please? Versus I'm Theo. Like, I don't need anything from you. I'm Theo. You see that? That's a leadership, though. That's a leadership component that you've got to
command.
You've got to at least understand this stuff. Because if you apply it, your life will change. Again, your life will change if you are aware of how you're coming across. That it's not about what I'm saying. It's the certainty that the downward inflection implies. It's the sub-communication. Say that out loud. Sub-communication. What's the underlying frame here?
Sub-communication.
I'm the buyer. You're the seller. You qualify. You get to jump through my hoops of validation. And it's not even about like, that's just a belief I'm holding. And it'll be so funny because I've gone into places and controlled, like had people just laugh for no reason. They just start giggling out of nowhere. I'm not even saying anything. Because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm in your head. Right. And they're like, ah, like they can't handle the tension. It just makes them feel funny. Right. And they love it. They love it. And so when I'm really creating the vacuum and the power of the pause, people just kind of go with the frame, right? Because there's a frame that's established. I'm breaking the rapport. Hey, I'm going to give you something that you want up front, a compliment. Or, hey, I'm going to tell you a story. That's going to be your homework for this week, is just give someone a compliment with a downward inflection. Like you don't need anything. You're just giving it to them like a gift. But it's coming from this vibe. Like, I feel good now. Like, I just want to share this feeling. So let's separate the content from the energy. So why don't you go ahead and tell a story about your day? And it's got to be a boring story and it can't make any logical sense.
Just yesterday, I was at the market and I bought a dream catcher that looked just like the boho designs of that super awesome boho tapestry thing you got going there. So just want to say amazing.
Here's the rule.
Amazing thing.
It can't make sense, and you can't use things in your environment. So you have to let thought come through. It's almost like you're pulling it from the source, like you're pulling it from light, like the light is coming in, and it's just this like, it's just whatever comes to your thoughts, but it has to be creative. Like it has to not make any sense. I was flying through the air in 1978, and oh my God, you couldn't believe it. Like the fairies were just in the dust, and oh my God, it tasted so fucking real. And I could hear the rainbow. The rainbow was calling to me in purple and red and white. And all of a sudden, I just felt this amazing. You see the cadence and the emphasis, the amazing. I'm only focusing on the emphasis of the feeling and that sound, right? I'm breaking off the conditioning here. I said society needs the content to match the emotion, but we're breaking that up and we're scrambling that conditioning out of you. And we're getting you into the flow of the voice and the energy. It can't make sense. It cannot make sense. Stop trying to make it make logical sense.
So you're just like inventing emotion.
You're inventing images. You're inventing, this is going to help you with storytelling. It's going to help you with public speaking. It's going to help you with everything. It's actually going to help you to be able to be very magnetic, because people will be like kind of waiting on every word that you say.
Whoa. Okay. Inventive story time.
Go ahead again.
All right. So I was floating through the fields of wheat and found the most amazing shining light at the top of a hill that just really opened up everything that I already thought I was looking for. And there were a lot of zebras who took me to this space of solitude. And
you see the meaning of solitude? You're like, solitude. Make it like solitude. You see, because like that doesn't make any sense to us. We're like, wait, he's saying sadness, excitement. Or he's saying like, I was so angry. Or I was like, I was so happy. So happy. You got to break this, right?
this is a scrambler.
It is very scrambly. Yeah.
It feels weird. It feels like my brain and body are definitely getting scrambled right now.
The reason why that's happening is because it's actually helping you to engage with the present moment. You see that? So I'm showing you like the wild, wacky stuff,
Yeah.
the crazy stuff, and the presence is like the space, and the nothing, the silence is over here. And so in the scrambling of social conditioning and just like scrambling up the social conditioning of like all this stuff, right? The content matching the emotion, it naturally you're gonna start moving towards your like soul and your present, like natural presence. Meaning like when you do express, you're gonna enjoy the action itself. All right, you're not gonna be attached to feeling understood, right? You're not gonna, and because you'll be more in the vibe and like the now, you're gonna come through more authentically because you're not gonna be like, I need to, but until I say the thing and until I have the validation, like I don't feel good about myself, right? I don't feel good in my body. You're just gonna naturally come to that through the process. If you can get this nuance, you're gonna be really, really successful. You gotta be willing to practice it. So go again, one more time.
With an inventive story.
Yeah, nothing in your environment. It doesn't have to make logical sense in past, present, or future. And it can't make like the words cannot match the emotion. Oh, at least do your best with that.
The words cannot match the emotion.
Because you're trying to connect to the emotion and play with the emotion.
Yeah. Okay.
Even if the word is like sad, you're like, sad, sad. I made $1 million. I only made $1 billion. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
$1 billion.
The $1 billion and all wishes fulfilled in a graveyard of dead people and amazing sunrises in the South Pacific Sea of love. And I wonder what is going to happen in the pixelated draft of Homecoming.
Feel your feet on the ground. Go ahead.
I kind of reached this place of blankness and like
That's
I
because
just feel like this endless.
yeah, because your brain still thinks, it believes that there's an end
To the story, to any story.
to life. You're not connecting with the self, the higher self. So you're getting stuck in contraction, physical contraction. Soften the body, connect with the source, and then it will just flow through you. Even your body is kind of forcing you into low status communication. As your chest is closed, your heart is closed. There you go. And it's not like right, and it's not like that. It's like a natural. I'm not enrolled. I'm not enrolled. I am not enrolled, right? Right? Because you're not, you've got to own I'm going to teach you an inverse thinking. So inverse thinking says like, don't do this and then you'll do it. Get it? Like if you want to, you want to keep failing, keep doing what you've been doing. Don't actually care about this. Don't take this seriously. You see, now I'm coaching you to do that thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not serious about this. You're just kind of not taking it at all seriously. Right? And I'm just saying that
Okay.
get you to wake you up, right? To wake you up. To wake you up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Right? Command
Okay.
wake up. Command your cells to give you energy. Command your cells. Hey, cells, you're gonna give me energy.
Wake up.
Yeah. Okay, now go. Pretend like you're the coach of this group. Or your students. We're your clients. What are you gonna do?
Yesterday.
Yes, you're just gonna like look at us.
I would take you guys on a journey into the heart and into the brain. I just don't understand how to invent this story out of nothing. It's like
You're not moving the body, right? You just let it flow with the body. Get out here, right? Get out here. Get out here. Get out here. Get out here. And help us win. You're being selfish. Get out of your head. Get in here. Get out here, right? Out here. Do that. Out here. Out here.
yeah,
I want you to
out
win.
here.
To win. I want Theo to win. I want Andrew to win. Yoshi to win. Out here.
I want Theo to win.
There you go. Okay, so tell us the story. Wasting
All
everyone's
right, the story that I came here to tell was this story about islands in the desert. And these islands are these islands of success, abundance, and wonder, and total joy.
wonder. Do that.
Wonder.
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 Yeah, there you go. Well, I want you to think of the word
Success.
pizzazz. Pizzazz. Pizzazz.
Jazz.
Pizzazz.
Pizzazz, wonder, and joyful self-expression, and communication, and and pills and
You look. So you're. Notice how his eyes are flickering, right? That's why you've got to do the
hey,
because all that flickering is all of the head trash that society programmed into you. You get that? It is. That's what that is. Your brain trying to reprogram, cleanse itself. You gotta breathe into that. Hey, and you'll start by pushing that out, but your eyes are going like they're twitching because you're like, oh shit, like I'm going out of the circle. I'm going out of the circle. I'm going to the edge of the circle, right? So there's that programming wiring just getting unwired right now. See, I can already tell. Isn't that cool? Okay, so keep going. Scott, you're so close to doing a little bit more of a breakthrough.
Yeah, so I just feel like there's this big whip that I need to like just let out and let this whip just take it all over and let it just flip and flop it all around. Flip it and flop it all around.
Keep going, and I want Andrea and everyone watching to notice what's happening. Keep going.
And when you can flip it and flop it all around, then it'll find its way to another location.
Keep going more like really lean into it. Lean into it. See what you see his eyes? They're flickering because his brain is filled with societal conditioning. Like, okay. It's all of us. I used to have it really bad. But you got to push through the pain. And after this, you'll probably feel very tired, right? Because it's like you're really changing your energy and it's upgrading.
So yeah, like I want to like scream, like just like ah!
Do it. Claim back your manhood. Claim like child. You got the inner child. Inner child, so cute, so fun. Claim it back. Right? This is it. This is like the gun to the head moment. Like if you don't execute on this, you're dead. You're taking your whole life for granted. And there's all these people who are supposed to get your help, and you're too selfish. So go.
All right. I'm gonna sing this song one last time for you all, and I'm gonna take you on this journey, which is going to just liven your souls and your cells and make you feel it. from the mountaintop, and I'm going to take us down below and smooth it all out in the end. Thank you for joining.
Okay, good. So, but you can still tell, right? Like you can still work on this skill set, okay? Because your palms are sweaty and you're going like this. You're like, oh shit. You're moving. Your body it knows what to do, right? It knows how to soothe yourself, but you should know that that self-soothing is good, but that still shows that you're still stuck in your head. You see, because your body's comfort itself. You see that?
Yeah.
But that's great. Everybody give it up for
So
Kurt.
you just do this. You just do this all day, just getting your body and
yeah,
up and...
because I want to fall in love with the voice of the joy of the voice tone coming down the body. Right? Because guess what? How lucky you are to have a voice, right? Guess how lucky you are to not have, like, imagine if you didn't have arms. You should all of YouTube Sean Stevenson on YouTube. He's like 2 feet tall. He's a paraplegic, and he would run circles around all of us, just in terms of his communication, his leadership, his public speaking. And is he making excuses? Is he pitying himself? Like, oh wow, no. And that was his message, and he's inspired millions and millions of people before he passed away a couple of years ago. So one of my mentors is like best friends with him. He's world renowned. You should look him up, Sean Stevenson on YouTube. He's a paraplegic, and you will hear manhood in his voice. And he had a gorgeous wife, multimillionaire, like fucking killing it on the stages, crushing like 1,000 people stages in a fucking wheelchair. And then you just sit there. You're like, I have no excuse to not be winning. Right? It puts things into perspective of how little you access and how little you see yourself, and how you're waiting for others to see you before you can reclaim your power, right? Because we can only lead others to the extent that we've led and healed ourselves. So if you use everything as an opportunity, right, to be the example, you're fucking gonna crush it. The money is gonna be boring to you. Like, making money should feel boring. You get my point? That's when you know it's kind of become like a solid skill set for you. Like, making sales should feel like, what's the big deal? It's like going to the grocery store. It's like tying your shoes. Are you going to overthink tying your shoes? No. Oh, should I tie wait, how do I tie my shoes again? Right? It's like, no, you just do it, right? You lead. So anyone notice any shifts in Kurt? What do you think? Let's all just make our egoic judgments of Kurt. What do you guys think?
You were really feeling this whole moment, but when you just started singing, you're like, F it, I'm gonna sing for y'all. Y'all gonna just hear this one. So I think the whole coaching of like getting out of our heads, like, it's like nice to see it when we are, and then when we start to like release it. But yeah, it was the singing for me. I was like, there we go.
Yeah, and that's, like, you should own that feminine energy that you have. You have very beautiful feminine energy that, like, a lot of men would benefit from learning how to embody and integrate. So that's your strength, right? But I want to show you how, like, I was similar too, right? And so I had to kind of flex a little bit into more masculine leadership, presence, structure, fucking integrity, like doing what I say I'm going to do, commitment. Like being the lead, dude, being the fucking leader, dude, like stepping the game up. And so, like, you'll be able to kind of use that feminine playfulness that you've got as like a crutch, because you already kind of have that as a strength. So we're not trying to knock like your authenticity, but I'm trying to show you how you can enhance your leadership. Does that make sense? So like someone who's got more masculine rigidness, I need them to get more pizzazz, right? And in fact, you could also improve some of that too, bro. Get a little bit more out of your head, Like, you should watch a lot of Dave Chappelle. Watch some Dave Chappelle, and just watch how he just flows from like congruence to wild, wacky stuff. Like that's leadership. He's controlling everyone's frame. That's why they laugh. See what I'm saying? Good job. Okay, last up, Kanice, get your butt over here. You ready?
Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Goddess burp. Fairy burp. So go ahead and express what feels right for you now in this moment.
Feels right.
Okay. Now, how would you like convey the message of like what that was like? Thank you, Andrea. Much love. Okay, appreciate you. Talk soon. Kanice, what was that like for you? Just describe. Why did you make that move?
I made that move because in the moment I felt like dancing, because that's kind of how I get into like myself, like the dancer in me. It's what I use to like turn on my brain.
Okay,
Why
so
did I?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was an impulse.
Yeah, okay. So just say, yeah, no, I just felt like it.
Oh, okay, that's simple, huh? I felt like dancing.
Yeah, that's a great answer. That's the best answer, right? So less is more, right? But don't say like I thought that was my embodiment. You know, like you're questioning yourself, right? Stop questioning yourself. Just be like, yeah, I just felt like it. Right? That says more, doesn't it? Right? Like you don't over explain yourself. Remember, you have to be the buyer, not the seller. Right. So when I ask you a question, you should ask yourself, can I reframe this into me being the qualifier? So you would ask, well, why do you ask, Theo? I'm curious. Say that.
Oh, why did you ask, Theo? I'm curious.
See that? See now the magnifying glass is on me. Now I have to explain myself to you. You see that? You see how you shifted the frame? That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Aha! Or just, hey, Theo, wouldn't you like to know?
Theo, wouldn't you like to know?
Oh! And everyone's like, oh, damn, she thinks she knows she's the shit. Wouldn't you like to know? Right? So whenever someone gives you flack in the DMs, be like, oh, you know what? I just think I would be the worst. Like I don't get any results for our clients. Probably the worst business ever. And watch them flip on a dime and start seeking rapport with you. Why is that? Because that's called frame control. Like you're not letting them take the frame. Does that make sense? Like who are you selling things to me? Oh yeah, you know, like I actually have nothing to offer you, but like just understand that I need you to understand that like I am the worst coach in the world. Like I have the worst results. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm deflecting the frame that you're trying to present and I'm exaggerating it. Powerful shit. This is like high level psychology that you would have to pay, 6 figures to just understand. That little nugget would be like life changing for you in every area of your life. Because you always assume, like, if someone asks me a question, I have to be a good little boy, good little girl, and answer the question like a good little child.
Yeah.
And then you get the short end of the stick every time because you don't know that you don't have to buy into the frame. You get my point? Yeah. And someone like asks you a question, and then you feel like you have to explain yourself, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to put my in the cookie jar." Like that's what that sub communicates. But when you deflect it with exaggeration or you just ignore it, like pretend like it happened, like it's just not in your reality. Like people, like you being shamed isn't like actually like it doesn't even it's not even a language that you understand. Okay.
That's what I did.
What people are doing when they shame you is generally speaking, they're seeking control. But that's okay, everything is control. Everything's a simulation. And so people who say, oh, manipulation, like they're actually in a consciousness that doesn't even let them see that they're in this illusion of separation. And so they can't accept that, like when you look out into the nature or the food chain of the fish eating the fish eating the fish, you don't understand what this world is. It's a competitive world on the 3-dimensional plane. But when you bring in consciousness and you align with love and presence, and we're all sharing and giving, you bring in the spiritual into the physical, and you can alchemize your physical world with that understanding. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm learning a lot.
Denying, right? You're not denying that business is a combat sport, but that's why you have this kind of experiment lab attitude, and you're like owning your intention, but you're free from the outcome. So you're playing the game, but you know it's like it's just a game, it's an experiment lab. And so if you have that belief system, then you're never going to get your whole self-worth tied up in how successful you become, and you won't lay all these emotions on top of disappointment. So the more you shorten, the more you open and talk to everybody, and the more you find something funny about that interaction after it's over, you'll just get into the rhythm of not judging, over judging, like, should I talk to them? Should I not? Should I talk? And then after that, beating yourself up. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I suck. My life is over. Right. So you're just like minimizing all the time that you spend between all the interactions, and you just open everybody. You don't have to say anything. You can say something, but in marketing, it's kind of like you're just planting a seed and you're not attached to who responds. You're just like, hey, set it, forget it. Set it, forget it. Send a compliment out there, move on. Send a compliment out there, move on, right? But you're not like, please like it, please respond positively. Okay. Then the more you get better at this, is not being attached to needing the validation and the approval, you'll end up attracting the validation. And then when you get the validation from being in the flow, in that vibe of non-attachment, you'll gain more validation and people jumping through your hoops of validation subconsciously. And that actually gets you that you'll become more dominant. You know what I mean? Like you'll own the frame more because you're getting that positive reference experience back. But then you have to kind of come back into the meditation or the stillness and be like, we're all one, kumbaya, unconditional love. It's all good. We're all human beings. We're not perfect, but we're also spiritually perfect. We're all good, baby. We're all good. It's just a fun game. We're here to have fun here. Hey. Hold the space of power.